Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to Creda, day 24. Today is August the 24th, and we are officially 1 week out from completing Creda. And then with my crazy behind, I have signed up to do the Spooktacular Halloween Hop with Elemental Designs and Mom to Create. It's okay. I love a challenge, and I need to keep busy because I have a lot of stuff going on in my head and in my life, work and work and home. So yeah, today I figured we can do something really simple, quick, and easy. We're gonna do a no-sew blanket, okay? So I haven't really been messing around with fabric on the channel that much. I did create the copycat sunglass case that HRH Tiffany created on her channel, and you should have already seen that video. I've already linked it. If you want to, I can link it again, no problem. So now what I'm going to pull out is a pair of scissors for you all really quickly. I don't have my fabric scissors at my desk. They are put away with the fabric stuff because I think, like I always tell you all, I don't want to be pigeonholed into one thing. So what I am doing now is pulling out a lot of scissors, right? I am actually pulling out a pair of scissors that I think will cut the fabric smoothly and no problems. And this one I would use these because I think these are probably the fabric scissors that come in the kit, but I've been using them to cut sticky stuff with, so I've ruined them for now, at least until I get some alcohol on them and sharpen them back up. And this is the same thing, but these scissors really don't work that great, honestly. For whatever reason, maybe I got a dud set, but they don't work that great. These don't work that great. And most of the time, I've seen comments where you say that you use a smaller pair of scissors. I usually cut with this part of any pair of scissors that I have. I don't know why. I grew up in Texas, so blame Texas. I always say that when someone says something that I've done, I'm like, blame my Texas education for it. And I honestly don't know where I got these black scissors from, so forgive me. I'm not sure if someone gave them to me or not. I think I bought them, and I think that they're a pair of cheapos, I think, because they don't have anything besides stainless steel. And usually stainless steel means no name, or because usually the scissors will have a name on them. So I don't know where I got them from. I apologize. And what we're going to be doing is making a no-sew blanket. And again, I'm working with 2 fabrics. These are fleece. Fleece, in my opinion, is usually the best to make a no-sew anything with, because fleece is kind of more forgiving than any other fabric that you'll work with when it comes to no-sew. Alright, so we won't make this entire blanket because it's one whole yard, and what I want to do is cut it in half. So I want to cut these 2 materials in half yards and then put them together, because if you ever get material, it's just one entire row. It's not really, you have to put it together to make it be a square, is what I'm saying. Right now it's just a big rectangle. It's 1 yard of fabric and it's a rectangle. And now what I am doing is I'm just marrying them up as best as possible, and we are going to cut. And so one side is Superman and the other side is basketballs, because my son likes balls. And whenever you do a no-sew blanket, you want to put bad side to bad side. And what that means is you see this print versus this print. This is the good side and this is the bad side. So you want to make sure the bad side is touching the bad side of this. So this is the good side and this is the bad side. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'm going to not pause the camera while I connect them, marry them up, because I don't think I need to do that, I am doing laundry, so if you hear any tick and clicking noise, that is what is going on in the background. And of course, Mr. Hungry Kitty Cat is doing his thing, but it's not time for him to eat. Like I said, he's doing his thing. He's very vocal this morning. When I first got him, he didn't meow at all for like, you know, he cried because he was a baby when I got him. He was only 4 months. That's what the SPCA said, but he was a big 4-month-old. But for the most part, he was very quiet. He's still a clingy little cat. And, you know, most cats are not cuddlers. They're not very into humans. They're kind of like feed me, leave me alone. But he's much into feed me, leave me alone, love me, and I'll tell you when it's okay to leave me alone. So now what we're going to do is this right here, what I'm getting ready to do is your determination. You can cut it up as high as you want or as low as you want. But what I would tell you is you want to get at least this much in between your cuttings. So let's see if these cheapo scissors will do it. All right. And the higher you go, and I'll show you what I'm talking about by the higher you go up your fabric, the more tear or knot you will need or not need. I had a friend, name's Deanna, that told me about no-sew blankets a long time ago. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Because I was like, she had made her baby a blanket and it was so pretty. And she's like, yeah, it's just a no-sew blanket. And at that point, I was just still collecting fabric. Again, I always tell you guys, I've been collecting longer than I've been crafting. Because one day I figured, you know, this is going to be my life, my living. And I need to have my supplies on hand. I don't know if I'll make a living off of YouTube because I think YouTube has changed, and a lot of people that did rely on YouTube for their funding, you know, they were complaining that they dropped the ads, they stopped doing this and they stopped doing that. But I think YouTube is still a good platform for me to, you know, showcase my talent, I guess. So if you notice, like I cut this one kind of short, and then I cut these right here a little bit longer because I want to show you the difference. And if you've made a no-sew blanket, then you know, a lot of times on this corner, what you could do is cut this corner off so you'll have this gone. But for this purpose, we're going to leave it on because I'm not going to complete this whole entire blanket. I'm only going to do one side of it because I do want to measure out half a yard and cut that off. And I don't have a lot of time today. So however you tie your knots is how you're going to tie your knot. And since I am lefty, I tie my knots just like that. And so you're going to do 1 turn and then 2 turns. And so this is how it's going to look. It's going to look a little bit on the weird side because it's such a short cut. All right. So what you want to do if your dangles, and it's going to eventually curl back up like this is starting to curl, it's going to curl back up. If you don't like that your dangle is really short, then cut some more fabric up. And I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to cut this off once I actually connect the blanket together, because I'm going to take these two, you know, like I said, cut them in half a yard, and then connect them. So it's going to be a square at the end once I finish everything. But here you go. You're going to make another one, and again, you can cut them a little bit longer if you like. I really don't want to cut them that long, because once you pull on them, it will be fine. So you can see the difference in this cut and this cut, because this edge is going to go bye-bye. Just not today. I'm just showing you how you can create. And I cannot believe that I've been doing this for 24 days straight. And then, you know, I've thrown in some live streams, and I do have some more videos that are coming up. I will probably get all those released before September 1st, because then I want to focus on the Halloween stuff for the spectacular Halloween hop, which is going to be a lot of fun. I just want to make sure that sometimes, you know, you can overextend yourself when you're doing things, because I have a lot of stuff going on in September for work, and hopefully I can get it all taken care of for my home life as well as work. So now what's going to happen is it's going to start to form a closure like that. And you really don't want your knots to show. You really don't want your knots to show, and you don't want to have any space in between there. So this is turning out to be fairly well, a good thing. When I took that sewing class I told you all about, we did a no-sew pillow, but it was really a sew pillow. So what happened, we cut the edges. We used fleece as well. We cut the edges, and then we, well, I sewed everything in, and then I tied the knots. And I made a pillow for my boyfriend. Still has that thing. I'm like, are you going to use it? Because he's one of those people that, I guess we are a good match, because I don't like to use some of the things that people give me. But he was like, no, you made that. I'm like, it's meant to be used. Like, I crocheted him a hat because he doesn't have any hair on his head. And I was like, are you going to wear the hat? He was like, no, I'm not wearing this hat. I was like, what? You're not wearing a hat? I do think that men can be a little bit goofy sometimes. Maybe not your man, maybe not the men in your life, but definitely the men in my life, including, you know, boyfriends, cousins, uncles, co-workers, friends, ex-boyfriends, ex-friends, ex-co-workers, you know, all of those, any man. So you see how I'm cutting it a little bit higher, because you really do want your blanket to dangle. You don't, your ends to dangle. You don't want it to just be plain. But you do want to cut enough fabric that it is not going to just look real tiny. And if you do cut smaller slivers, you can cut these smaller. You still want to cut a longer thing, because the point of it is to show the decorative of the blanket as well as the decorative of your craftsmanship. The blanket itself is already going to lend some decoration because of what it is. You know, you can take a purple and pink one if you have a for a female. I like stronger colors, neutral but stronger colors for myself and for other people. I then started getting crooked over here. Can you see that? So I want to straighten that back up. I don't want to make this a crooked, too crooked of a cut. I do like, you know, neutral colors, or colors that is not really defined, you know, pink and purple. A lot of men don't like pink or purple. And then a lot of women don't like, you know, hard colors, blue and green, because those are, you know, traditional female and masculine colors. So I usually try to use like a lighter green color, orange, because, you know, orange and green are not, in my opinion, they're not masculine or feminine. They're just colors. You know, we haven't attached them with anything. Teal, turquoise, you know, even though they're blue or green, they're more like lighter colors, and they're okay. People tend to use them. But I would say that, you know, whatever you like, whatever your person that you're making it for likes, it's okay. That's what they like. That's what they like. When you're crafting, for me, you know, unless I'm doing it for someone else, I really just craft to get my mind off of things. And all the time when I craft, it's not always good to be in your head. I don't recommend that for anyone, because when you're crafting, you really have a lot of time to think. Maybe it's just me. If I wasn't talking to you all, I would be sitting here. If I was crafting, like on the day that I'm crafting, and my head tends to go into other places, which usually ends up in me cutting projects incorrectly, stamping out something wrong, because I'm no longer in the zone of crafting. Now my brain is in the zone of reflection and thinking about what happened yesterday, and or what's going to happen that day, you know. So whenever I need to reflect, I just reflect, not while crafting. And here we are doing well, I guess. We're doing awesome on time as well, because, you know, this is a really quick blanket to create a quick fun project. You probably could have your little ones help you out, they could probably make their own no-sew blanket. This would be something fun to create for your loved one, your husband. You know, you can get a whatever their sports team is, and then you can get some white fleece, and you can have your kids, you know, get some paint out their fingerprints, write their name or whatever, and you can create a no-sew blanket for dad or mom if they're into that. You know, you can find, they have so many different licensed blankets now, material, that is awesome. I remember before I was into crafting, and this is when Walmart had that fabric section before they got rid of the fabric section, and then they brought it back. I used to see Grover a lot of Sesame Street, because you know, Sesame Street was a very popular show on PBS back in the day. It's still popular, but that's right before like all the new cartoons, the newer cartoons that are money driven came out. I think it was probably right around the same well, Sesame Street's been around for a long time, but I guess that's when you know, more cartoons were coming out and kid shows were coming out, like Teletubbies. So it was right around the Teletubby time, and they had a lot of fabric with like Grover on it, Sesame Street, and I started to get it, and I didn't get it. And then like the next month, for whatever reason, Walmart decided to clearance out their fabric section, and I wasn't into buying fabric just to buy fabric. I was into, you know, wasting my money on other things. And then now whenever I go to look for Grover fabric online, first of all, people think Grover is Cookie Monster, and that's how you can tell a seller versus a user. They're just selling junk. You know, people go to estate sales, which are awesome, and they buy these things from this lady who's probably been crafting her entire life, and you know, they get it and they sell it, and they just label it Cookie Monster. So sometimes I have to type in Cookie Monster on eBay to find Grover things. As I've told you all before, I'm a collector of many things. I don't like to put myself in one little pigeonhole. So this is very easy to do. I'm going to leave this edge off because I'm going to cut this edge off. There's no sense in doing what I did on the first side, which is this. And I'm going to end up cutting it off too because I want to cut this down. So anyway, we are finished with our no-sew blanket, and this is how it will look. And the beauty of this blanket is if you want to stretch it out, you can. I wouldn't recommend it because now you're going to have good side, bad side. So you want to keep it like this. And now you have a beautiful blanket. And the reason why I didn't put sports on both sides is because I want my son to branch out. I want him to do other things. So even though he doesn't know who Superman is, Mommy does. And I'll make sure I introduce Superman to him. I've already tried to introduce him to Spider-Man, and it didn't work. Did not work at all. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this quick how-to. I guess this is really a how-to video. I don't like to say that I do tutorials because I really don't. I'm just showing you my crafts. But this is really a how-to. You know, how do you make a no-sew blanket? Really easy. You get some fabric, you cut it, you tie the knots. That's basically it. So I want to say thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's Creda, and happy crafting. Happy Creda.